after electrical problems. So now he's got a great opportunity to fight back, but it is going to be difficult. As a result of that, Race GP have put themselves in the best possible situation to do what they did in Formula Regional last year. They knocked Mumbai Falcons and Prema off their perch. They're hoping to do the same in F4. Last night, I decided to have a chat with the man who unexpectedly, but very sensationally, leads the championship standings after the first round, the Italian stallion, Emanuele Olivieri. Martin Molnar, first of all, welcome to F4 out here in the Middle East. How are you finding the experience so far?
Yeah, I enjoy it so far a lot because we learned a lot already. The track is really nice, love Abu Dhabi. And yeah, first weekend didn't really go as planned, but we started to find a pace towards the end of the weekend and had some good races, so I enjoyed it.
Now you've come from the world of karting into the British F4 Championship last year. Now you're here in the Middle East. What's been the biggest difference between the two categories?
Oh, well, when I came out here to the Middle East, like this track is like super wide, big runoffs and everything. So there's something new after the British. Yeah, British tracks are really technical and quite tight. This one, yeah, was big runoff, like big long corners. So definitely some new things to learn. Temperatures obviously different, so the tires, everything is different out here, so those were some things to learn at the beginning. And yeah, I think we started to get along pretty good.
Let's talk a little bit about tyres, because it is very important for a race driver to get used to them. It's the same car in a sense, but the tyres make it, I guess, feel very different.
Yeah, these tyres are completely different, different brand too. We use Pirellis in British, here we use Gitis, so they are different, also a bit different how they come in, like they're pretty peaky tires, so it's like you don't have much like lapping quality, so you need to get that one lap together really well, because that's pretty much the only shot you have. And yeah, last quali was not the best, but I know what to do different for the next one, and we'll see next quali.
Now, racing in British F4 last year, you obviously had a chance to drive at Silverstone, so that was your first F1 circuit ticked. Now you have your second. What's this place like as a driver, especially racing at night?
It's quite similar to Silverstone, in case of runoffs and everything. So, big wide track, love it. All these F1 circuits are really nice. This was my first night race too, so really enjoyed it. Actually, I enjoyed the night race more than the day race here, because it's like so nice under the hotel and everywhere in the night, and yeah, it was really good.
And you've done your first sessions now on the corkscrew layout. It's only a few corners difference, but does it change the whole feel and the balance of how you drive?
Yeah, of course. That setup is similar to the GP layout, but that extra bit, the corkscrew, is like really nice. Love the chicane. It reminds me a bit of Knockhill, what we had this year, with all the jumps and chicanes and everything there. It's quite similar, the feeling that you get there. Yeah, love the corkscrew, so it will be fun.
Now, you've been settling in quite well with the Evans Grand Prix team out here. What's it been like working with such a great team of engineers?
Yeah, they are really good guys in the team. I love to work with them. Although my engineer is from Virtuosi, who I will work this year with in British F4, so already start to get along with him pretty well, because like this we already get used to the work and everything, and get to know each other a bit better, and yeah, it's been really fun, and looking forward for the rest of the season.
And being a rookie driver, it must be nice having somebody in the team that you work alongside, like Thiago, who has that experience to take on. Is the relationship between you and the teammates really strong?
Getting stronger. Of course, we didn't know each other. At least I didn't know them before this championship. So, yeah, got to know each other a bit better in last round, and yeah, it's getting stronger relationship.
Everybody watches these championships to see who the new star moving up the road to Formula One is. It's been a long time since Zsolt Baumgartner in Formula One. Do you feel a little bit of pressure sometimes carrying the flag for Hungary?
I wouldn't say pressure. It would be nice to be the next one, and that's my goal. So we'll see. I'm going to do everything to reach there.
Well, I know everybody back home has been watching very closely, and they're giving you a lot of support. So we wish you all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
So as you can see, we have changed the layout for this second round of the championship here. We've moved from the Grand Prix layout to the corkscrew section, which as you can see gives us a little tighter section that separates one part of the circuit from the other and then joins it up again with a big downhill drop, which is unfamiliar to those of you who are Formula One fans, of course. But in the F1 Middle East Championship, it gives these drivers a little bit more of a challenge to work the tyres and work the brakes to a slightly different measure, and the setup now becomes more about downforce than it does about top-end speed. So for the drivers, it's definitely going to be an interesting challenge now, as the competitors are going to gear up and get ready for an exciting showcase out on the course once again. We'll see some really exciting battles out on the course, that is for sure. And now we're going to get to see a very tight race with the two drivers up on the front end of the field. Apologies there for the slight difference in scheduled programming there. We were supposed to be giving you an interview with the championship leader, Emanuele Olivieri. We did also do an interview last night with Martin Molnar, the Hungarian for Evans Grand Prix, and that is what you were treated to just then. Well, good for Martin Molnar and the Hungarian fans. We'll obviously have to hear from Emanuele Olivieri tomorrow instead. There is Emanuele Olivieri, the pole sitter, looking very strong indeed for another great race in front of him. He took 2 victories in the first round of the championship, and the second of those was a nail-biting climax, a showdown with this man right to the wire, Kiya Nakamura-Berta. It does look as if these two drivers are going to be fighting tooth and nail for the F4 Middle East Championship title in 2025. This is a really exciting duel between the two of them. Kiya Nakamura-Berta in the Mumbai Falcon car, which is of course engineered with Prema. So it'll be really exciting to see what he can do to make up the ground on Emanuele Olivieri in this second round of the championship. And of course, the man who has managed to get the monkey off his back and grab a first victory in the F4 Middle East Championship, and certainly his first in F4. Tomas Stolchemanis, the Latvian driver, definitely one to reckon with. Now that he's finally got the winning formula, he's going to be working very hard indeed to keep pushing himself forward. Lovely that on his helmet at the very forefront he carries the logo of the Energy Course factory karting team that he raced with back in his youth. Really exciting that he continues where his heart is. Salim Hanna, the Colombian rookie, mentored by the 2-time Indy 500 winner and Monaco Grand Prix victor Juan Pablo Montoya. Salim Hanna doing a great job as the Colombian continues his march forward on the 4th position of the starting grid. And he is definitely looking good to be the first rookie. What's happening with Sebastian Weldon? He's being wheeled off the grid. So that is big drama for Sebastian Weldon. They're pushing him off the starting grid. That is very bad news indeed for the American, as we focus in on Renault Francote. So Renault Francote for the Axel GP team. Definitely looking very much like he could get a decent result here, but one man who certainly doesn't look like that at the moment. Looks like it's going to be a very tough day at the office then for Sebastian Weldon. He may have to start this race then from the back of the grid. That is disastrous for him. As we now focus in on the young man from Dubai, Adam Alazadi. Lives just an hour and a half down the road from the circuit here. Did a fantastic job on his debut in F4 Middle East. He only got the chance to join in midway through last season. So now he gets the chance to race on his home turf in fantastic fashion. Be really good to see what he can create from this race. So there is Alex Powell, the man who's got a lot to do, it has to be said. He's not in the best position, starting down in 7th on the grid for this one, but hopefully they've sorted out his gearbox issues at the very least, and he should be able to make more of an impression in this second weekend in the championship. It'll be really good to see what he can do from here. But of course there is a gap now for where Sebastian Weldon should be. He should be starting 8th on the grid. He's not going to be able to do that by the look of it, and he is going to be in the tough position. August Raber, looking good to start from P9 on the grid then, the young man from the United Arab Emirates. He also lives in Dubai, just around the corner actually from Adam Al-Azadi. He also lives on the Palm Jumeirah, so getting to Yazheat, they probably go together, to be honest. And there is the young man in the Williams Racing Academy, as well as in the Prema, Alexander Bondarev, European FIA karting champion 2023 in the junior category, and the representative of Ukraine on the world stage. Really cool to see him back in the top 10 where he rightfully belongs, and he has been much quicker this second round of the championship than he was able to be in round 1. So it'll be fascinating to see what he can do with it. There's the Chinese driver in 11th position on the grid, Qizhen Ray. It'll be really exciting to see where he ends up in this one as well. He's got very good one-lap pace. He can look after the tyres very well in this second round of the championship, and hopefully that will turn into something. But it'll be a very intriguing battle for him as he continues his mission over the course of Brigades. For those who didn't see the qualifying earlier, there's only one change to the driver lineup in this round of the championship, and that is Hamda Al-Kubaisi no longer competing in the car that she drove in round 1, the XRGP car. We just got a brief glimpse there of Martin Molnar for the Evans Grand Prix team, who you heard earlier on in the programme in his interview. But Hamda Al-Kubaisi has got another programme to take care of, so she will now be competing there in that. Hello everyone, we are welcoming the Formula 4 Middle East Championships second round at the Yas Marina circuit once again. After the first round, Emanuele Olivier is leading the standings. Let's see what kind of surprises the drivers will bring us as we now race on the corkscrew layout at the meeting place of champions. The F4 Middle East Championship getting underway then. It will be a really exciting battle in this second round of the championship. Race 1 of 3. The 2 races tomorrow will be at night. This one is a daytime encounter, and it'll be fascinating on this corkscrew layout of the circuit. Who gets the best of it in this first race of the 3? But the big battle is going to be the championship contenders going head-to-head for the victory. Emanuele Olivieri of Italy and Kian Nakamura-Berta of Great Britain. Really will be fantastic to see them go head-to-head. Thomas Stolchamanis, race 2 winner in the first round of the championship, and then Salim Hana, the Colombian, 4th position. Renaud Francote and Adam Al-Azari definitely going to be ones to watch for as well. We saw how incredible the battles will be. Madison asks a really interesting question in the stream. Do keep those questions coming, by the way. Why doesn't Formula 1 use the corkscrew layout? Well, essentially with the Formula 1 fraternity, they've got that huge grandstand overlooking that particular hairpin, and the corkscrew sadly is just a little bit too far away from that grandstand, and it does give us that fantastic corner where Max Verstappen made that move on Lewis Hamilton in the 2021 season finale. So it's just too big an opportunity to get the fans around that particular hairpin, and that grandstand does sell out on Grand Prix day. That's pretty much one of the only reasons why, although the argument, I guess, is an interesting one. There is the corkscrew section of the course. For the first time, many of you will have seen it if you're Formula 1 fans or very recent motorsport fans. Here is the starting grid. Emanuele Olivieri and Kian Nakamura-Berta, with Thomas Stolchamanis 3rd on the grid alongside Salim Hana, the Colombian. 5th position on the starting grid for the Dutchman Renaud Francote alongside Adam Al-Azadi of Dubai. Then Alex Powell, the Jamaican sensation. Sebastian Weldon should be 8th on the grid, but it looks as though he's going to be starting from the pit lane if he starts at all. August Raber, 9th on the grid from Alexander Bondarev in P10. Then it's Qizhen Ray, the Chinese driver, alongside Hungary's Martin Molnar. 13th position on the starting grid for Thiago Rodriguez. Then it's the South African Cole Hewitson, Abdullah Ayman Kamal from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the Romanian David Kozma. 17th on the grid for Alexander Savinkov, alongside the new boy in the field, Akil Alibai. He replaces Hamdar Al-Kubaisi. Arjun Jaheda is 19th, Beda Al-Sulaiti in 20th on the grid for Qatar. 21st on the starting grid, it's the young British driver Emily Cotti, alongside Yuta Suzuki. Then it's Kyoho Lee of South Korea and Fu Yuhao of China. Rounding out the field in the final few positions, we have Wang Ujie, Chinese driver, alongside Seth Gilmore of Australia. And then it's the Brothers Grimm, Tahim and Taha Hasiba. 18 and 20 are in 25 and 26 of the grid. And then right behind is Farah Al-Youssef, continuing her journey in the world of F4. So we've got the last couple of drivers getting themselves into position then down the field, as everyone is ready in position. And I'm not entirely sure whether or not Sebastian Weldon, who is of course the son of the late great Dan Weldon, two-time Indy 500 winner, I'm not sure whether he's been able to get that car started again. But after winning last month in the UAE Trophy, that is a disaster. Green flag at the back of the field. We're ready to go racing for the 4th time this year in the F4 Middle East Championship. Let's race at Yas Marina. Cracking start as the drivers work their way off the grid. Good launch from Kian Nakamura Berta, but Olivieri is straight across to cover. And the racers make their way to the first hairpin for the first time. Good start from Alex Powell. He's already got the jump on Al-Azhari, trying to go the long way round Renault Franco, and that's the best start Alex Powell has had this season from the front end of the grid. So now he can really challenge for his first victory, but he's still got a lot of work to get there. As already Olivieri's going defensive. Nakamura Berta right round the outside of the W Hotel and overshoots. Goodness me, he's committed, trying to get back in and manages to get there behind Olivieri. But Kian Nakamura Berta has brought the boxing gloves for round 2, as off the road goes, I believe that is Taha Hasiba. It could be his teammate Beda Al-Sulaiti, but Kian Nakamura Berta has woken up in very big fighting spirit. He is immediately going for broke. So somehow he's managed to get back on the road and in second position, I do believe. And Alex Powell has already got up into 4th place. What a rocket start for Powell. So as the field make their way through turn 1 on the Grand Prix layout, they drift out a little bit wide and they will now hunt themselves down through the left, through the right. This is where things are going to get tricky as they go into the corkscrew section. But out in front it is Olivieri versus Nakamura Berta. A couple of choice overtaking maneuvers could be happening here. Watch for contact. It could get quite tricky as they go down the drop. That's great racecraft from August Raber. Not going to be intimidated by Chijin Ray. So down the back straight, Olivieri still holds it from Nakamura Berta, but it really is tight up at the top end of the field. So now Kian Nakamura Berta determined to get past. The car has been called on the first lap. Well, clearly something has happened then out of our views. Sebastian Weldon, it looks like, has not been able to get going. That is disastrous for the American, but we're under safety car, and I can't quite make out who it is. It looks as though there's a car in trouble that's just got moving again, ironically enough. That looked like a slow car that's just got moving. So it looks like both the Hasiba brothers, Tamim and Taha, have both been in an incident. So very unfortunate then. Wow. What a dramatic start to this race then for all of them in F4. Olivieri leads the way then, Nakamura Berta second, Stolchman is third, and Alex Powell is already up into P4. Wow, this could be a really interesting race when we get restarted. But it's quite clear that Olivieri is going to be under a lot of pressure from Kian Nakamura Berta when we get going. Let's have a look at the replay of the start. So the lights go out. Nakamura Berta does get a really good launch, but Olivieri is absolutely determined. He's fixated. He's not going to let any chance. Look at Nakamura Berta on the first lap, round to the W Hotel. He's actually got ahead, but he's missed his braking point by about a metre, tries to rejoin. He knows he can't just turn in on Olivieri, and that is a broken down Taha Hasiba. So that's why we're under safety car, because Taha Hasiba hasn't come around again. Tamim Hasiba, by the way, has gone into the pits, and Sebastian Weldon did actually start the race, albeit he is down in last position. So a very dramatic start then. I mean, as Alfred Herm points out, there's a bigger rule to not hitting your teammate. Don't hit your brother. We don't know if they actually collided with each other or not. We know that they've both gone off the road at some point, but I think it's a bit early to assume that they've hit each other. We just know that there's crash damage for one, and one of the other one's coming to the pits. So we can't assume that they were in the same incident, or maybe one reacted to the other. I don't know. We haven't really figured that one out yet. But certainly, Olivieri ahead of Nakamura Berta, and they are going to be at loggerheads when the race restarts. Alex Powell's going to be in P4, right behind Thomas Stolchemanis. Look at how heavy the wind is. You can see on the pit lane just how strong the wind is. It's going to be a very interesting restart here. I don't think anybody was really anticipating the race to be as windy. Look at the yellow flag. They're struggling to even wave it because the wind is so strong at that point on the course. And this is unusual for this time of year, for the wind to be as heavy as it is. So these guys are definitely going to have a tough time of it. I mean, if we're going to have these kind of winds tomorrow, there's a potential risk of rain. Not a very high one, it's a very low percentage, but if we get rain, plus wind, plus night, it is going to be the toughest race any of these drivers have ever done. Safety car lights are out, so we are going to go racing this time. So it's going to be all hand to the brake pedal for Emanuele Olivieri. It's going to be left hand down a bit for Kian Nakamura Berta as he tries to get past the Italian. And watch for Alex Powell in the Race GP car in 4th place. He'll want to get past Stolchemanis very quickly to try and gain back some of the points he lost in the first round. Safety car is back in pit road. So we are going to go racing this time by, and this is going to be the mother of all battles for Emanuele Olivieri. He's already been rattled by Nakamura Berta. He's slowing, keeping them very tight on the exit. He's still bunching up the pack. When's he going to drop the hammer? He's leaving it very late indeed. Now he goes for it. He's given himself a tiny bit of breathing space between himself and Nakamura Berta, and it's green here at Yas Marina. And look at Olivieri immediately trying to break the toe. He knows how much pressure he's going to be under here from Kian Nakamura Berta as he chases down to the first corner. Through the hairpin he goes, and this is going to be tricky from here on out. What a battle this will be as Alex Powell already starts to intensify with Thomas Stolchemanis in 3rd position. So through they come. This is going to be a very tall order. Olivieri really struggling to hold on here from Kian Nakamura Berta. We're going to have such a close race battle. The safety car procedure is under investigation now. That means that they're going to be looking into what happened there with Olivieri on the restart. They clearly feel that that was just a little bit too risky. So can Olivieri hang on to this advantage? You can tell he's rattled. Kian Nakamura Berta obviously trying to drop with him. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. And so the contenders having a really tough race on the restart. Everybody just trying to get into the rhythm. Apologies for any difficulties with your picture. But it's going to be Olivieri. Now, interestingly, there is an incident being investigated after the race, I should say. So that's going to be looked into. So now we will watch as they come down the straight together. Very tight race battle going on here. Kian Nakamura Berta just trying to hunt down Olivieri. He's going to go for the move into the corner. He's overshot big time and he overcooks it. Kian Nakamura Berta has to then cut the chicane. He'll have to let Olivieri go through again, which he does. What a big error for Kian Nakamura Berta. Absolutely determined to push his way further forward. Apologies for the quality of the picture. We'll try and fix it as soon as possible. And there's been an issue with the chicane. That looks like one of the Evans GP cars. I'm afraid that is Seth Gilmore. So Seth Gilmore's had a moment coming off the final turn, going into the chicane. I don't know who he's tagged, but certainly an issue there. So as the drivers make their way through, it's still Olivieri in front of Nakamura Berta. Nothing in between them, as that is the hard-charging Chijan Ray trying to work his way through on August Raber. So they are still battling away. In fact, Raber's got ahead of Chi, so that's why he's trying to bounce back. But a really exciting situation then for the leaders up front as they still battle away. We will get on top of these issues with your picture as soon as humanly possible. But Emanuele Olivieri is your race leader. There we go, that's better. Kian Nakamura Berta second in front of Thomas Stolchemanis. And they're actually losing ground, the guys behind. Salim Hanna is back in front of Alex Powell. So on the restart, Powell has not had that good... he's got ahead of him again. So as they came across the line last time, Hanna was in front. Now Powell has got back into 4th place again. So a bit of a tricky restart, but he's managed to get himself back into position. So Olivieri leads Nakamura Berta and Thomas Stolchemanis in 3rd place. From Salim Hanna, Alex Powell and Renaud Francote. Then Alizadi, Molnar, Raber, and in 10th position, if you can believe it, was Abdullah Ayman Kamel, who came through, the rookie driver from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now finding himself up in 10th position for the time being. Excellent work from him. Alexander Bondarev and Thiago Rodriguez right behind, but I have a feeling they're going to make the move fairly rapidly. There is Bondarev, having just gone past my position. So Bondarev is now in P6 after all of that. So Abdullah Ayman Kamel having a bit of an issue as he came through. I wonder if he may have cut the chicane a little bit at the end of the lap and then had to work his way back forward. So it will be interesting to see how it all continues. But Olivieri, Nakamura Berta, look at the gap that Olivieri's pulled. No wonder Nakamura Berta was determined to make that move into the chicane, because he had to. Olivieri's clearly got the pace to disappear into the distance. So this is not good news for Kian Nakamura Berta at all. He really didn't need this. Thomas Stolchemanis in third position, trying to stay with Nakamura Berta. Alex Powell's now got space. He's got through the field after the difficulties of the weekend. Alexander Bondarev, by the way, driving a beautiful race from 10th on the grid. He's now P6. So the Ukrainian really going well. Excellent performance, and certainly making the moves in the first couple of laps. So Bondarev keeping his wits about him. He was really annoyed with himself after the first round of the championship, but that's what he does. He likes to beat himself up, and then he comes back with more gusto. So Olivieri, Nakamura Berta, Thomas Stolchemanis, Alex Powell, Adam Alazadi and Alexander Bondarev in front of Renault Franco, Martin Molnar, Salim Hanna and August Raber in the top 10, with Savinkov 11th. In 12th position, it looks to me like it might be Sebastian Weldon. That can't be right, surely. He was at the back of the field at the end of the safety car, but I think there might be an issue with this timing tower. I'm trying to have a look at it. Ah, right, so the timing tower is not correct. So on my timing screen, it's a different order altogether. We've got Olivieri, Nakamura Berta, Stolchemanis, Powell, then Salim Hanna in front of Renault Franco, then Adam Alazadi, Martin Molnar in 8th place. Then it's Alexander Bondarev in P9. And then we've got in 10th place August Raber, Chijan Roy, Thiago Rodriguez, Alexander Savinkov and Cole Hewitson, Abdullah Ayman Kamel. And then it's David Kozma in 16th in front of Akil Alibay, Fuyu Hao, Yuta Suzuki and Kyoho Lee from Beidaros Sulaiti, Wang Ujur, Sebastian Weldon's 23rd in fact. Then it is Arjun Chaheda in front of Emily Cotti and Seth Gilmore. At the back of the field we've got Farah Al-Yusuf and Tamim Hasiba. So hopefully the timing screen will update and get itself back to normal again. It's not far away from it, there's just a couple of things that need to be rectified. But so far, so good for Emanuele Olivieri. He has pulled out the gap of 1 second over the rest of the field now. Nakamura Berta still there behind him, but he really wants to make a bit of a mission of getting back on terms with him. There, meanwhile, is Renault Franco hustling Salim Hanna. So the Colombian rookie doing his best to move forward and try and keep up with Alex Powell, but it is looking really difficult. His best to continue on the way. So let's see how they all work their magic into the corkscrew section. This is the square left, and then you drop down into the far side of the course. But Olivieri is a second ahead of Kian Nakamura Berta, with Thomas Stolchemanis in third place in front of Alex Powell, Salim Hanna, Renault Franco and Adam Alazadi. From Martin Molnar, Alexander Bondarev and August Raber. Then Ji Jinroy from Thiago Rodriguez, Alexander Savinkov, Cole Hewitson, and then Abdullah Ayman Kamel. So it's going to be really exciting to see how it's going to continue on. They're in the right rhythm now. So let's see how everything continues to square up. Very tight race, that is for sure. Situation for all of the contenders as they run in together. Now we're going to have an interesting battle on the course between these competitors now. Who's going to get the first run? Somebody ran wide there at the W Hotel. I couldn't quite make out who that was. It looked to me like one of the blue machines. I wonder if that was Martin Molnar getting it slightly crossed out. I think it might have been. Oh no, that is Martin Molnar. So he's still there in front of Alexander Bondarev. There's a yellow flag at 12. So that is the penultimate corner, and that is the car. So I'm afraid that is Yuta Suzuki, the Japanese driver. So Yuta Suzuki has gone off into the W Hotel. You can see the brake line where the rubber has skidded him off the road there, and that's a very tight battle further back. This is a really close encounter between Thiago Rodriguez and Alexander Savinkov. So those two are having a great duel as they chase after August Reber and Chichen Roy. Oh, big lock up from the Race GP of Savinkov. He manages to avoid going into the back of his combatant, but that was very close for comfort. Safety car again. So safety car is called for the second time. If you're Kian Nakamura Berta, you just breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness we've got a safety car. As out of the car gets Yuta Suzuki. What happened? Into the W Hotel. A lot of drivers running wide. And we're about to see Yuta Suzuki exit stage left. There he goes. Oh my goodness! Terrifying moment for Suzuki. How he managed to get the car stopped. He is a very lucky man indeed. That could easily have rolled over. He's out of the car talking to the marshals. Yes, I'm all right. I'm just fed up. That is not how I wanted my race to end. But we got away with that one. It was a very nasty moment. So we just about managed to get everything squared up for the safety car. That'll be quite a quick removal, I think, because it's only at the W Hotel. The extraction vehicle is already there. So let's get things queued up in the right position again. Emanuele Olivieri, Kian Nakamura Berta, Thomas Stolchamanis, then Alex Powell, Salim Hanna, Renaud Francote in the top 6. 7th is Adam Lazari, then it is Martin Molnar from Alexander Bondarev and August Reber. 11th place for Chichen Roy, then Thiago Rodriguez ahead of Alexander Savinkov. Cole Hewitson, the South African, in front of David Kozma. And then it is Abdullah Ayman Kamel. Really impressed with him so far. 16th position in this one from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Certainly doing a very fair job in this race. Akil Alibe taking over from Hamdar Al-Kubaisi in 17th. And this got very, very nasty indeed. We're going to see about 5 more cars go through, and then watch out as it all gets very tight and very scary indeed for Yuta Suzuki. And there it is, the contact with Bader Al-Sulaiti. He is so lucky that that car did not roll over, but it's game over anyway for the Japanese driver Yuta Suzuki. So all game over for him, I'm afraid. Behind Bader Al-Sulaiti is Sebastian Weldon. He's up to 21st position, having had to start the race from the pit lane. Then Wang Ujie in front of Arjun Chaheda. Emily Cotti, the British driver, who seems to be really struggling in this race. She was right up in the far end last week, but on this configuration, something doesn't quite seem right, or I wonder if she got into an incident earlier on and has lost a lot of ground. Seth Gilmore certainly did and is down in 25th. And then Tamim Hasiba and Farah Al-Yusuf are the last 2 racers in the field, because Taha Hasiba crashed out at turn 1 and brought out the first safety car. And then Yuta Suzuki, who, as Naomi Saleh rightly points out, there was nothing he could do there at all. He gave all the space he could. And unfortunately, his rival didn't quite turn in early enough for the corner, and it just tagged the right rear wheel, and up into the air he went. He was so lucky that didn't roll over. So Olivieri in front of Nakamura Berta and Thomas Stolchamanis as they continue on once again. So we're going to have another sensational battle for all of the contenders out there on the course, and it will be a really tricky scenario for everybody. Once again, apologies if there are any issues with your sound. We are going to try and get on to the issue as soon as we possibly can. We'll try and fix it if there are any difficulties for you. Superfast deciding to throw the Bernie Ecclestone argument into the mix. They need to spray the track with water to give them more wet weather driving. You should have been watching the championship last year then. We had a couple of wet races last year, which were very unexpected and, to be fair, really tough. So we go 1 more lap under the safety car, and that's only because the extraction vehicle needs to be reset back into its original position. We can't just clear the incident, we have to make sure that all of the recovery trucks and the marshals are back into their original positions, because their safety is paramount of concern. Safety car is in this lap though, so they have extracted it safely and got it back into its original positions. This is my opportunity then to thank everybody at the Emirates Motorsport organisation. They've done an absolutely amazing job both last weekend and here this week, looking after all of the drivers and teams and keeping everybody safe. The marshals really are the unsung and uncredited heroes of motorsport. Without them, we cannot race at all, and we are thoroughly indebted and very grateful indeed for all of their hard work, their hours that they volunteer and dedicate to making us go racing. Very difficult as well, with this being a midweek affair. So a massive thank you to the marshals, who have been fantastic over the course of the last 2 weeks. And we're very, very grateful indeed to them. So as the drivers will drop out of the corkscrew section, this will come down to Olivieri, and we already know that the safety car procedure is under investigation from the first safety car restart. I think that's Olivieri's restart tactics that they're going to investigate. Spirited driving by the safety car. He's a really talented driver, actually, our safety car here. He was pushing it and practicing going at the limit just before we got the race underway, and I was watching him from my commentary box window, and I thought, hang on a minute, this guy's a proper talent. So they're actually going to start the race. There you go, the lights are out on the safety car a lot later than usual. And they did say they were going to try this a couple of times if drivers were going to flirt with late restarts. So that's exactly what they've decided to do. They've decided to thwart the issue for Olivieri, and it makes Nakamura Berta a very happy man. He's going to have a much better restart this time. It's green, 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 green. We're back underway here at Abu Dhabi on the Marina circuit. It's going to be tricky for Renault Franco. He's going to try and find a way through on the inside line there. Salim Hanna in this contact. And as a result, Salim Hanna's got a puncture, I think. He's trying to recover. But Salim Hanna's not going to be happy with the way that went down at all. Hopefully we'll be able to see a replay of what actually happened. But I suspect it is a really close call there that just went wrong. And now Renault Franco's battling away with Adam Al-Azadi as they go under the W Hotel. So they will continue on their way. But no, you can see the struggles here for Salim Hanna. He's really got a problem. I think he's got a puncture. I wonder if there was just a little bit of a rub on the wing end plate from Renault Franco, and that's done enough to puncture the tyre as Adam Al-Azali goes for it on the inside of Renault Franco to one of the toughest corners on the circuit to overtake, and Adam Al-Azari nails it. Brilliant move, and that puts the young man from Dubai into P5. There's got to be something in the water on the Palm Jumeirah, because Karim Al-Azari would have pulled off a move like that, and so did his brother Keanu in the day. Adam Al-Azari is pulling him off like Billy-O, and look, he's just dropping Franco. Thanks, mate. I'm going to disappear and go play with the leaders. Excellent work from Al-Azari. Big dive on the inside as well. That is a charge from Alexander Bondarev, who goes wheel to wheel with Molnar. And Bondarev's going to hold that all the way. Oh, beautiful from Bondarev. Magnificent racecraft from the Ukrainian. That is so difficult to pull off the overtake in the corkscrew. And Bondarev has rolled up his sleeves and shown the world what he can do. Now he's got to thwart off Molnar in the braking zone. He's in the middle. He's in the rock and a hard place. Go right round the outside. And Bondarev holds his nerve. Beautiful. The Bison charges forward. Molnar off the road trying to keep it. And he should hold it for the moment. But Bondarev will not like that at all. And he'll be bouncing back with gusto. What a great race we've got behind the leaders now. Bondarev has to go to the far side to try and get the next move. Watch out, be fuming. What an amazing race behind the top six. Excellent work. That was one of the battles of the season in only the second round of the championship. Wow, some pretty decent racecraft. So now Bondarev's got to regroup and go at it. And I genuinely thought for a moment that Savinkov was going to have a look. And Savinkov's actually got the move there on August Raver to get ahead. Watch out for Chijin Roy, Tiago Rodriguez, Cole Hewitson, David Cosma. They're all in the mix. Look at the line all the way back to, that's got to be all the way back to Kyoho Lee, the South Korean, in 18th. Terrific racing. Absolutely wonderful. And so Molnar holds his nerve, having had a season of British F4 behind him. Alexander Bondarev's only had a couple of weekends in an F4 at the tail end of last year. So really exciting stuff, but it takes a real nerve of a race driver to go at it side by side in the corkscrew. That shows you the kind of racing driver Alexander Bondarev is. No wonder Williams picked him up. That's the kind of star they are building at Grove. Amazing. And there's more to come. I wonder who's going to make the next big move. They've got to just reset and get themselves back into the groove. They got a little bit hectic. Now they've got to rebuild. Further up, and Olivieri has pulled the gap again on Kia Nakamura Berta. It's even bigger this time. 1.3 is now the gap. Stochamanis is half a second away. Powell can't quite stay with them. And in fifth place, that is Al-Azadi, a full second and a half clear of Renault Franco, with 2 seconds back. This terrific battle as Bondarev locks the front wheel. You've got to be careful. You do not want to push the tyres too hard. And that is the 88 in pit lane. That is a very unhappy end to the race for Salim Hanna, and there is the puncture. It's a deflation of the tyre as he's come in. It's not quite gone well. It might actually be worse than that. But a very unhappy Mumbai Falcons team as Salim Hanna is out of the race as a result of his little love tap from Renault Franco on the restart. So bitter disappointment for Salim Hanna. Let's see how it all continues. The drivers working their way forward. Sebastian Weldon's just picking them off one by one. He's up to 19th now after his pit lane start. Very impressive young driver. Only been racing out in the United States prior to the tail end of last year when he did the races in the F4 UAE Trophy, and he won a couple of them as well. So this is going to be his proper arrival. He got a podium last time out in the first round of the championship as well. So Olivieri still holding his nerve in front of Nakamura Berta. A few of the drivers trying a move or two. Very defensive tactics there from, I think that was Fiu Yao, having a little bit of a tactical move there. My apologies, no, it was Cole Hewitson. So Cole Hewitson, the EXL, decided to get a little bit defensive there to shake off the Romanian David Cosma. One half of the Cosma Christopher brothers, who were very strong in karting. Bogdan, by the way, decided to retire from racing at the end of 2024. Now it's his brother David who's going to be flying the flag for the family. So let's see how they all continue. But Olivieri's lead is getting massive, and Thomas Stolchemanis is getting impatient in third place behind Kia Nakamura Berta. Look, you clearly can't keep up with him. Get out of the way and let me have a go. I think it's going to be too little too late, even if he can get the overtake. Because Olivieri's lead is 2 seconds with 2 minutes left. He needs another safety car, and if there is another safety car, we won't go green at the finish. So, a fascinating situation for the contenders at the moment. 2 seconds is the gap back to Nakamura Berta. Olivieri doesn't look like he's losing this one, unless something goes very wrong indeed. But the Race GP driver, the Italian, is doing a grand job. But Stolchemanis, I wonder if he wants a little bit of payback for the first round of the championship. It was really interesting. In one of the races, he was in second place and then he suddenly moved aside and allowed Kia Nakamura Berta to get the move up the inside. I decided to ask him about it after the race because for scheduling reasons, we didn't have time to do post-race interviews for that particular race. I asked him, why did you move over? He looked at me, raised his eyebrows, grinned, nodded and walked away. Interesting. Make of that what you will. But Thomas Stolchemanis hunting down Kia Nakamura Berta. He wants a little bit of payback. So let's see, Nakamura Berta holding his position. Stolchemanis might want to go for it. He's certainly closing in. There's not a lot Nakamura Berta can do about this. If Stolchemanis gets a good exit, he'll be in the slipstream as Olivieri bangs in the fastest lap of the race with a minute to spare. Fantastic work so far. Look at the gap he's built. That is terrific work from Olivieri. So does Kia Nakamura Berta have what it takes to hold off his teammate Thomas Stolchemanis, or will the Latvian get his move? Nakamura Berta has yet to win a race in F4 Middle East 2025. He's got a string of podium finishes. In fact, he finished second on all 3 occasions. But now he really wants to win, and I don't think he's going to get it, so a second place will have to do. Stolchemanis wants it. You can see he's hunting his teammate down into the W Hotel. Powell is just staying there just in case something crops up. What a great chance this is for Stolchemanis, but things could get difficult. We could get trouble in paradise here. Nakamura Berta sliding around a lot. The tyres don't seem to have held up for him. The time runs down to 0, so at the end of this lap, we'll be going into the final lap of the race. But does Stolchemanis have a little bit more momentum than Nakamura Berta to come in for the final part of the race? Third warning for track limits for young Tamim Hasiba. A couple of drivers may end up with post-race penalties, so when we cross the line, it's always a provisional result. Really tricky. 3 seconds between Olivieri and Nakamura Berta, but is he going to be able to hold on to second place? If Thomas Stolchemanis nails this exit, which it looks like he has, he could get a shot down to the chicane, and Nakamura Berta trying to break the toe of his teammate. He knows that Stolchemanis is going to come at him with everything he's got. Down to the braking zone. Nakamura Berta is last of the late breakers usually. He holds his nerve. Stolchemanis trying to run right round the outside. Now he can go slow in, fast out here. Nakamura Berta's on the defense. And we go into the last lap. There goes Olivieri over the line. Nakamura Berta holding on from Stolchemanis. This is not what was in the script for Kia Nakamura Berta. But we know how strong Kia Nakamura Berta is. Let's see how it all continues. Nakamura Berta holding that first line. Stolchemanis just trying to stay with him. And Sebastian Weldon goes down pit lane. So I think Sebastian Weldon is retiring. That is so disappointing for the American. He could have had so much more from this race. What a shame. Really was hoping for more from Sebastian Weldon's first race of the weekend, and nobody will want more than he has. Look at the gap now. Nakamura Berta defending from Stolchamanis has cost them another second. So the gap is now 4.3. Nakamura Berta in ultra defense mode. If he can't get the win, second will have to do. I think he's hoping that Olivieri has a bad round and he just keeps consistently in the top three. But Stolchamanis is pushing him. And things could get very interesting between the two of them. So let's see how it all continues on. Out of the turn, Nakamura Berta, a very wide run on the curb, but then so too was Stolchamanis. Not much between them. All fairly even. So it's going to be very interesting as they run in close proximity. Very tough run. A very tough run indeed as they continue on. But out of the corkscrew section, Nakamura Berta moves aside, trying to break the toe from from Stolchamanis. There's an opportunity here. Out of the braking zone, and Stolchamanis is going to go for it, and he's made it work. Beautiful from Stolchamanis. Final corner, final lap. Olivieri gets the win. Thomas Stolchamanis throws caution to the wind in the last lap and snatches it side by side. Who's going to get it? They cross the line together, and it's Stolchamanis by 15 thousandths of a second. Thomas Stolchamanis steals second place away from Kian Nakamura Berta on the last lap. Magic. Kian Nakamura Berta threw everything he could to keep him at bay, but you cannot stop the Latvian when he's on a charge. Stolchamanis gets it done by 15 thousandths of a second. That is the closest line to the line finish that we have seen so far. Oh, and that's Thiago Rodriguez. So Thiago Rodriguez has had a problem there on the last lap. Is that in the chicane? It is indeed. So Thiago Rodriguez sadly is going to crawl home in 24th and last position. What a shame for the Macanese driver. But it's a victory for Emanuele Olivieri by 5.9 seconds as Thomas Stolchamanis fights with his teammate to the line and grabs second place. Now, of course, that could be the difference at the end of the year between Nakamura Berta winning the championship and coming second. But there's no obligation for teammates to race each other and concede a position. And it looks as though Stolchamanis has already conceded a position this year for Nakamura Berta. So this time, he decided to fight back and take it back from him. So that makes it all nice and square from his point of view. And as Nomi Jalai points out, Nakamura Berta is definitely going to feel robbed, but Thomas Stolchamanis is going to feel validated. So as the drivers come home to enjoy themselves, it's been an absolute masterclass from Emanuele Olivieri up front. What a dominant drive. Only one proper look from Kian Nakamura Berta in the early stages, but he didn't have the tyres to sustain it. And so the Italian stallion, Emanuele Olivieri, is going to make his way down pit road and park it in the #1 spot. Excellent for the Race GP man. That's his third win out of 4 starts, and he is looking like he is on the cannonball run to the title in 2025. Great run from Olivieri. Stolchamanis a brilliant second, but look at that. 15 thousandths of a second in it as Olivieri climbs the top of the Race GP car for the 3rd time in 4 races. He is the winner. I bet he loves the Yas Marina circuit now. He had never raced here before this year, and what a magnificent display from the Italian. If you want to look at any racing driver in the world who has made the massive improvement over the winter and transformed massively, it's Emanuele Olivieri, the man on top. Well, the body language at Mumbai Falcons says it all. Trouble in paradise. There's going to need to be some soothing over of words. Nakamura Berta hasn't even got out of the car yet. Oh, fascinating storybook poetry going on there. And the rookie winner, by the way, is Alexander Bondarev. What a return to form for the Ukrainian. Excellent work. Great race to start this week. So Emanuele Olivieri takes the victory then in this race in front of Thomas Stolchamanis and Kian Nakamura Berta. That is a very exciting podium. Let's have a look at the provisional results. Behind the top three, Alex Powell in P4 from Adam Alazadi and Renaud Francote. Martin Molnar, the rookie win goes the way of Alexander Bondarev. Then Savinkov and Raber in front of Chijen Roy. 12th position for David Kozma in front of Cole Hewitson. Then Akil Alibay from Abdullah Ayman Kamel. Fuyu Hao, Kyoho Lee, Beda Al Sulaiti, Wangu Zhe, Emily Cotti, and Arjun Jaheda in front of Tamim Hasiba. The last two finishers were Seth Gilmore and Tiago Rodriguez. Retirements for Sebastian Weldon, Farah Al Youssef, Salim Hana, Yuta Suzuki, and Taha Hasiba. But it's a victory for the third time out of four for the Italian stallion, Emanuele Olivieri. Can anyone beat him to the title? Right, folks, it's time to welcome our drivers to the podium in the first of our three races here at Yas Marina. What an exciting encounter this Formula 4 Middle East Championship fourth race of the season has been. But race one, round two, has given us a very exciting podium. In third position for the United Kingdom, Kian Nakamura Berta. 4 races and 4 podiums. Nakamura Berta really stacking up the points in 2025. In second place for Latvia, Tomas Stolchamanis. A fighting drive and an exciting race from Tomas Stolchamanis. Really good to see him put on an excellent show here at Yas Marina. But your race winner for Italy, Emanuele Olivieri. For the third time this season, it's a victory on the top step at Yas Marina. And ladies and gentlemen, the rookie winner for Ukraine, Alexander Bondarev. A great return to a race car podium, his first race car podium of 2025 in the rookie category. Now, it's my honor to invite Mr. Stuart Latham, the Yas Marina Circuit Truck and Community Engagement Director, to bring on the trophies for our top drivers on the podium. Starting with the man in third position for Great Britain and Mumbai Falcons Racing, Kian Nakamura Berta. And in second place for Latvia and Mumbai Falcons, Tomas Stolchamanis. And for our race winner for Italy and Race GP, Emanuele Olivieri. And finally for our rookie winner for Ukraine and Prema Racing, Alexander Bondarev. A great result for our drivers and a great way to start the week in the second round of the F4 Middle East Championship. Our photographers have got the shots they needed, and now we get to celebrate in fine style because the drivers on the podium can now get busy with the fizzy. Let's party, boys! A sensational end to the first race of the week. They celebrate in style here at Marina, don't they? What a fantastic way to kick off the week with the first race of 3. And the F4 Middle East Championship will continue tomorrow in race 2 and race 3. But for now, we move over to the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, race 1 of the second round. See you shortly. It's a great end to the first race of the week and a fantastic fight to second position. Just talk us through how you saw the race from your point of view.
Yeah, well, we had a different strategy.